Hi Taurus, sorry, I'm just moving a few things so you can see the cards a little bit better. Sorry. There you go, that's better, isn't it? So, we're going to do September 2019 general reading. So we'll do our usual layout. I'll do my usual layout because it's what I've done for everyone else. I think I might start doing Celtic crosses next month. Yeah, might do some changes, but I'm going to pull you a card before I start shuffling the deck. We'll do a general reading, you get the mending card. Yeah, okay. So obviously this is about trying to mend some sort of connection, maybe some sort of relationship dynamic. We're going to do a general look and then we'll do a very brief relationship dynamic, what's going on, and the rest of the relationship reading will be on Vimeo. So let's have a look at the mending card and the themes for Scorpio, for Taurus. Sorry. That's funny I mentioned Scorpio. Maybe some of you are dealing with a Scorpio or you're dealing with scorpionic themes. So scorpionic themes can be about mending ruptures, okay, but let me carry on. What's going on for the sign of Taurus for September 2019? Actually, I want one more shuffle. Please give me clear messages. What lies ahead? So they're ready. So 10 of Swords behind you with the Ace of Swords. Beautiful. Clarity coming through. And 10 of Swords, I don't tend to read the 10 of Swords, but other people do. It's a completion card, okay? And it's a decision, it's a sort of surrender card, very much about letting go of the card that comes before, which is the 9 of Swords. Anxiety, feeling trapped. And the 10 of Swords is a sort of ending with a new beginning, new insight, new clarity with that Ace. So very, very good, by the way. What you want is the Empress, which is your own card. Love, yeah. Love, family, children, prosperity, abundance. The Empress is everything that's good about this world. And don't forget, Taurus, that's what you rule. Planet Earth, Gaia, all that beautiful stuff. What's helping you get the Empress is the 3 of Swords. Don't worry, it's a supportive card, which means it looks like something's mending. The challenge is the 4 of Pentacles, isn't it always? Guarding the heart, or someone else is guarding their heart. The Emperor, turning up in your relationship. So the Empress and Emperor, this is the married couple, by the way. So this is definitely about relationships. The Emperor, in his shadow side, does keep the flow of emotions out. He oppresses his emotions. I'll find out more. Money and work, you get the 7 of Swords. Some of you might be wanting to leave a job. That's what the 7 of Swords is. But in that transition, shall I go forward? Shall I go backwards? I'll clarify, it can be a bit of a pain, this card, because you're stuck in your head. And when we're stuck in our head, we don't tend to move. Yeah. You know what, Taurus, I get you. I've been in this energy for about 3 months, and then the Tower came and that was the end of it. Yeah. The Hermit at a soul position. And then the Knight of Wands. So you're going to move beyond fear, put it that way, because the Knight of Wands is about acting on impulse. And he doesn't listen to fear. For some of you, this might be around a work situation. This is happening. What's after the Knight of Wands? Give me a major or an ace. And if no major or ace comes up, it just means we're dealing with the same story, but it's evolved, but it's not over yet. Yeah. 2 of Cups. Any major, please? Or ace? No. King of Cups. High Priestess. So Two of Cups, King of Cups, which is obviously a bit of relationship theme. The Three of Swords is the gift and the mending card. Would say there's a great opportunity here to mend a rift with someone. Basically, that's what it's about. And the Two of Cups with the King of Cups would sort of say the same to me as the outcome. Moving forward without fear. Fear is always that the past is going to repeat itself, by the way. And fear that if I open my heart and be vulnerable, some awful person is going to come and stamp all over it. That's exactly why we move into energies like the Four of Discs, by the way. It's not that there's anything wrong with us. It's just the way it is. So what you want is the Empress. The Empress is your card. As I say, she's got the Venus symbol, the Taurus Venus symbol. She tends to represent sensuality, not sexuality, but she's about love, essentially. For some of you, it's this is a person. It doesn't have to be gender specific, remember. The gift of the Three of Swords is probably the mending card, which means there's a potential to mend some sort of rift because it's with the Four of Wands, okay? Which is about celebrating, crossing a threshold. But there's obviously going to have to be some mending before that happens because the Three of Swords was the first card. And because it's the gift, it means the swords can come out. But the challenge is a Four of Pentacles, which is going to be about letting your guard down here, Taurus. Basically. Why the Four of Pentacles? Why is the Four of Pentacles a challenge, please? Six of Pentacles. So for some of you, this is about the flow of money, by the way. So what the challenge is the Seven of Swords. So some of you might be in a job situation that you're not that happy in. That's how the Seven of Swords tends to show up. And you're not where you were, but you haven't quite made the leap to get out of it yet. The leap tends to be in the Ten of Swords. So it looks like some decisions been made. There's a lot of hesitancy going on here with the Seven of Swords and the Four of Pentacles. So this would be a classic example, not wanting to be a job, but because of having to hold on because of the Four of Pentacles, which represents security and stability. They always tend to play out the same way, these cards, by the way. And the challenge is about maybe getting a new job, about the flow of income, something like that. For others of you, this is a classic example of trying to mend a rift, but really struggling to let your guard down and converse with that Six of Pentacles, which is about mutuality, straightforward dialogue, but it's a challenge, okay? Can I ask why it's a challenge? Why is this a challenge? Same card, guys. Look, Nine of Swords. Look at the heart energy. If some of you, this isn't to do with relationships, it's to do with a job situation. Remember, the universe doesn't categorize. So we all have, the tarot cards are in every single one of us, by the way. They're universal elements. So if it's a relationship or it's money and work, this is how the theme is playing out for you. Okay, can I carry on? Now you've got the Emperor in your relationships. He is the Aries card, so you could be dealing with an Aries, or this is the opposite to the Empress. This is about union. It could be about marriage, the perfect couple, feeling that you've found this real equal, but opening up the feeling realm, allowing yourselves to be vulnerable is a challenge. It's okay, Taurus, by the way. I don't think many people enjoy being vulnerable. But to love means both people's boundaries need to collapse. And when people's boundaries collapse is when we experience falling in love with someone. But there's an awful lot of boundaries up here. Why the Emperor, please, in your relationship, in your relationships? Boy. You and Scorpio's reading I've been doing today, both out complex. Yeah, look, here we go again. Same card. So some of you have got a real opportunity here to mend some sort of rift, but with the opening up is the struggle. Or this might be other people's energy that this is showing up as. Remember, it can go either way, because the esoteric issue is relationships are just a hall of mirrors. And I'm not talking about horrendous situations, Taurus, by the way. Yeah. But which is a little bit, because having the married couple, the perfect couple, and the Four of Wands doesn't happen that often in a reading. But there seems to be a rift created between the two of you. Or for you, some of you, this is happening in money and work. The Seven of Swords is a card of trying to get out of a situation. As I say, I pulled this for a little while around a situation I was desperately unhappy in work. And it was the Four of Pentacles and the fear that stopped me actually walking right through that door into my future. What comes after the Seven of Swords, please? Yeah, look. There's an ace here. There's a new beginning beyond this door. But you need to release the four to get there. This is really weird. This should be my reading, guys, to tell you the truth. Maybe it is my reading. My moon's in the Taurus house. But for some of you, this issue is playing out in a work situation. For some of you, it's work and it's relationships. Again, remember, Uranus is going retrograde, and your life, when Uranus finishes, it will not be the same. But it's trying to liberate you from old patterns, Taurus. And the pattern here might be about fear, about resources. We all have it in 2019, but there's definitely a relationship theme here. Which is strange, because the Empress doesn't only rule love, she rules prosperity, because that's what Venus does in her chart. When I look at someone's chart, I don't only just deal with money, I deal with the love nature as well as prosperity. And you have soul position, you've got the Hermit, so you're doing some serious soul seeking here, soul searching, going within, doing a lot of reflection. Good. I actually love the Hermit card because it goes within and it searches for answers. Some of you might be seeking some sort of guidance because the Hermit is the guide. He's got the light of Hermes, and this light enables you to see in the dark. Again, that's what the tarot do. They guide people through the dark. Anyhow, it gets very interesting because first of all, the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands moves forward on impulse. He trusts the impulse coming from his soul, by the way. And this might be a person, fire sign person again, or it's just about saying yes. I'm full of fear, but I'm going ahead anyhow. Yeah, that's how we strengthen. That's how we develop our sense of self, okay? And it's definitely to do with relationships. The Two of Cups came out with the King of Cups. So the King of Cups, I'm going to read more as you, because the King of Cups is an energy of, he dips his toe in the water. He doesn't jump in it yet. But It's okay to take small steps, Taurus. No one's in charge of your destiny here. You can be yourself in a relationship and operate at the pace that you need to for your own well-being, because the King of Cups, he sits on the ocean, he does dip his toe in, so he works with the energy of mending, of love, but doesn't lose himself in it. You then get the High Priestess, which is very, very much like the Hermit. So there's a lot of energy about change going on here, and particularly around Venus things, because you seem to have it in money and work, money and relationships. I think you're at a bit of a threshold by the looks of it. There's a lot of cards about seeking the answers from within, which is beautiful, to tell the truth. Because unless we do some seeking, we just keep repeating. That's all karma is. It's a wheel. We go round and round and round and round and round. And to get off the wheel, we need to go within quite often. I'm going to have a quick relationship dynamic look here about what's going on for the sign of Taurus. Incredibly deep, by the way. Very, very deep reading you got, Taurus, by the way. I feel very lost in thought considering it. I think some of you are really desiring to push forward, by the way. Oh, I keep saying it, but I'm really desiring to push for a new life. The retrograde energy of Uranus is what's taking you in to reflect on what's happened over the last year. What changes has that Tower card brought in, which is Uranus, and maybe a bit of reflection on the way forward. And by the time Uranus is finished with the Taurus energy, you won't have the energy of resistance anymore, because that's its purpose, is to set us free. So what's the connecting card between Taurus and their relationships? Okay, you've got the Five of Cups. Don't worry. That's the mending card here. There's some sort of, with the Three of Swords is the gift, some sort of hurt that's been caused here. You're approaching them as a strength card, and in relationships that's holding back. It's a lust card, but you're taming this lion, and they're approaching you as the Four of Swords. So there's definitely been a little bit of a separation here. So tell me more about the Five of Cups. Oh, it's in the hands of the Wheel, which would be the mending, some sort of change that's about to take place. Where is the change happening yet? Breaking through defences, which is what I thought your general reading was saying, by the way. And the other person becomes the Ten of Cups. You have got a very, very interesting relationship energy this month. And I think we're talking about an awful lot of change. And what needs to change. It's absolutely great when we tame the lust card, by the way. It's absolutely, we can't walk about constantly just feeding our appetites. But we need to be open to the possibility that the Wheel brings us of mending, of bridging gaps. Because the Tower wants to break through, cards like the Nine of Wands and the Emperor. It wants to break through this resistance, so happiness can flow again, which is the Ten of Cups, and how the other person's dealing with things. I think there's going to be an awful lot of change going on for you. Yeah, the Fool would say the same as well, because the Fool carries no... he's a zero, he carries no story. He's a free spirit, if there is such a thing on this planet. The Fool's where we come from, and it's where we're going back to. but there's going to be a lot of breaking through this holding back of your natural instincts here, which is what the Knight of Wands would mean as the outcome, because the fire smashes through the Swords cards, the resistance, the stories, in order to break free. Very exciting month ahead, by the way. I'm not quite sure. I keep saying the same thing, sorry. I'll go and do the Vimeo reading now, I think, but hopefully for you who can't get the Vimeo reading, that's enough to get you through. Lots of love, guys. Bye.